Please allow me to introduce Mr. Neo, the Chief Business Officer for OMNI and C2M of Synagie Singapore. Neo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tu. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for making time for this session. I'm very excited to share what is coming up in the next few slides within this minutes. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, when we talk about Omni Channel, we cannot run away. This Omni Channel is actually enabled because of digitalization. Digitalization brings in new channels for us to interact and purchase that does not exist 10 years ago. Give you an example. I was doing some research. TC Home was one of the earlier adopters. They started only in 2007. Lazada, a very big platform in Southeast Asia, 2012, and Shopee only exists after 2015. That's available. It has shaped the way we make choices and defined how brands and products need to do to be successful to penetrate these markets. There's many examples of channel. It could be B2B, B2C, like the Lazada and the Shopee to go to consumers. It could be pure play, like the online supermarkets, for example, Redmart in Singapore or Amazon that everyone knows. Social buying also is getting traction. Social buying, let's look back. In the past, it's very similar if you know about Tupperware party. It's similar. You invite people physically to your place, you cook a storm, and you sell to them Tupperware. Social digitalization has allowed this to be done more efficiently and also at a bigger scale. And last but not least, also quick commerce. On digitalization, it created information explosion. Information and data are now available as long as you have the time and you have internet. That's why nowadays people, before making a decision to purchase a product, they actually look for information. And now, because of this, providing the access of quality and sufficient information is as important as the product itself. If you have a good product, if you are unable to share with a big audience why this product helps to improve their life, you lose out with the competition. The next one about digitalization is the integration efficiency. Omni is possible because of this integration. It's done by data transfers across channels or across functions within organizations. This allows organizations to integrate, understand the data, and also efficiently deliver Omni experience. On the right-hand side, maybe let me explain. Now you might be thinking, why is Omni? Actually, Omni is just a seamless and effortless, high-quality customer experience that occurs within and between contact points and touch points. It is actually part of our life now. And we are so used to it that we might not realize is that it actually started, first step, maybe 40 or 50 years ago, traditional retail, the typical brick and mortar. Then it moved into e-commerce, which happens around 20 years ago, where people go online. If you remember, Amazon, where it was still a bookstore, or eBay, where they go and buy the product. After that, it moved into multi-channel. Multi-channel is a very important step before omni-channel. It means that the product is available. It could be online, it could be offline. But what really drives omni-channel is to make the whole experience seamless. Next slide. And for businesses, the most important, how do we leverage this, or how do we use this Omni as a strategy? The key is leverage this seamless and effortless high-quality customer experience that occurs within and between contact channel for business opportunities and implement in a sustainable and profitable way. This is very important. Later on the right, I will share with you why is this so. And also, just a quick, some of the statistics is 80% of the shoppers, when they are in store, they use their smartphone to find out more information. 50% of the purchases they make are actually influenced by digital means or digital information. And 39% of the retailers globally actually have signages that encourage people to go into digital to find out more information or to buy the products that's not available in the store due to limited store space. Challenges. First, fragmented channels. There is many channels now. Like just now I list down many. These channels don't exist. So with this, it's more important now to have focus and execute with a clear strategy. You can't be everywhere now. In the past, you can say, I want to have as much distribution as possible. But now, if you go that path, it will be very costly for you. Next, consumers are overstimulated. For example, when you go home after work, typical, you might on the TV for YouTube. At the same time, you are using your handphone to play TikTok. At the same time, you may be on WhatsApp or online chatting with a friend. And all this comes with multimedia, sound, pictures. You are overstimulated. So it's difficult now to excite consumers. And also comes along with all this convenience, consumers experience, consumer expectations becomes very high. As a result, as a brand, as a product, sometimes if you don't embrace omni-channel, you lose out. Opportunities. Along with the challenges comes opportunities. Unprecedented reach, efficiency, which was not possible before. In the past, if let's say I'm from Singapore, I live 20 kilometers away from town. On the TV, I saw a product. On TV, I like it. I have to travel 20 kilometers to buy the product. But now, no. I just go online and it will be delivered to my place. The other one is creating greater consumer satisfaction from different channels, which translates into brand loyalty. You just think about it. Last time in the past, if you go to a store, a promoter convinces you to buy something, you like the product, let's say a gadget. When you go home, you don't know how to use it. The instruction booklet is too difficult. That's it. But nowadays, you can go online. Either you go to the forum to understand how to use the product, or the brand might have instruction video to help you to use the product. So this creates greater consumer satisfaction as a whole. And of course, there's myths. All the key myths, and I mean 5-10 years ago, or even now, that Omni is a fad and it's trendy. Some people will just say, people talk about it, but it will die off. And also, the second myth that people talk about is logic can be understood, but it is difficult to strategize and implement. For this, that's why I'm here. We are here. Synagie is here to share with you how we can work with you to implement this. And last but not least, is only for businesses, as you require big resources and money to try. On this point, I would like to share is actually e-commerce, digitalization, Omni actually liberated many brands to stand out. Although there's more clutter, there's more information, but it allows them to have a fighting chance to exist and to be available for consumers to try and buy the product. Next slide. Omni strategy reality. 90% Omni customer retention rates are 90% more than single channel. This is a reality. In terms of purchase frequency, it's 250% higher compared to single channel. This is one of the possibilities it could be. Omni do provide a very good model for subscription categories. Meaning if you use this after 1 month, there's a CRM that can be sent to you, hey, go to the store, buy this product. Or they can directly give you a voucher and you can go online and purchase. Or a voucher that you can go to a store to experience the product and buy even more. And the last point is, in terms of companies, like just now I shared, doing Omni, you might not stand out that much, depending if you do it correctly or not. But if you don't do, you will sure lose out. So in 2020, there's 20% of the companies embracing omni-channel, but now more than 80% are already embracing it based on PwC. Next slide. Okay, Synagie. Synagie is the #1 e-commerce enabler, most awarded e-commerce enabler, founded in Singapore. And our market is Southeast Asia, as you can see here. We are spread out all over 7 different markets, and we are registered in all these different markets. In Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore, of course, Malaysia, Indonesia. And Hong Kong is actually our cross-border base because there's a lot of cross-border facilities that's available there. And in this region, very exciting to share with you, you can see the statistic there. Population growth, booming. Total merchandise trade, growing very fast. GDP, of course, as a result of population and also the trading, is growing very fast. And most important, in terms of middle income, since 2010 to 2030, is projected to grow nearly 3 times. And that's why the potential is huge. But the reality is, I think just now, Sam Tai has mentioned, regulations and import controls continues to be a challenge. It is challenging, but it is not impossible. Logistics across markets is still as basic, but it's still possible. And we also face different culture and languages. Let's say in Singapore and Malaysia, English, Chinese will be most frequent use. In Philippines, you're using Tagalog, or in Vietnam, Vietnamese. Because of this, Synagie hopes to help the brands, is able to help the brands to penetrate this market because we have access to all the different channels on the right. Be it B2C retailers and marketplace, Lazada, Shopee, Zalora. After this, maybe we can discuss with PC Home also, potentially we can work with them to access. We also help some brands to run their brand.com using backend API to link to our Synagie system, so there is a seamless ordering, processing, and also inventory management. We are also driving new commerce, social commerce, using Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, which we recently just signed a regional contract with them. And the final basic fundamental is omni-channel of physical retail. We have access, or we are helping brands to actually distribute in this physical channel. For example, Watson's, Guardian, FairPrice. These are in Singapore. Watson's in Philippines is there also. Medicare in Vietnam. Landers, Philippines. Robinsons, Philippines. And also Malaysia, Guardian. So all this we do have. So after this, feel free to connect with me and we can share more of our channels that's available for your business. Next slide. We are undistributed leader, I mentioned. You can see there's many familiar brands here in this list. And most important, we are actually Lazada best partner enabler in Southeast Asia in 2021. And also, this is a very important milestone for us. It proves that we provide excellent services to all the brands you can see here. And also in individual country-wise, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, the highest rating is 3-star. Indonesia, sorry, the highest rating is 3-star. We are the highest rating. And for Philippines, we are actually partner of the year. Likewise, for Shopee, when there's certified status for Shopee program, we are actually a certified enabler also. Next slide. Next, how do we understand? So you see, we've shared so much challenges to penetrate the market, or there's a potential in Southeast Asia. How do we do it? In Synagie, we actually provide end-to-end solution. You can see, it is quite a complex slide, bear with me. First, digital commerce infrastructure. To be successful in digital commerce, what do you need? You need new retail thinking, digital commerce. From there, you need to be able to generate demand because being available is no longer sufficient. You need to be available, and yet people have the desire to buy a product. And also, just now, we discussed this about customer experience. Backbone of it, complex logistics and fulfillment, and also AI and big data analytics. So with these 4 important digital commerce infrastructure in place, we actually have 6 business units, we call it, to actually help brands to penetrate the market. Starting from CBD, or customer business development. This is a team that liaises the brands or product to talk about assortment, pricing, promotions, account, and business planning. This is the front end of the business. Next, supporting, we have channel development and management team. Because channel, let's say the Lazada, the Shopee, the platforms, they are getting complicated. Their store execution and operations are changing. So we do have a dedicated team to keep abreast with the advancement of the platform. On top of that, we are also very tight on channel compliance like SLA and also new channel development. And that's actually reflected in the awards that we win. We also have an in-house marketing and creative services that does performance marketing. In another word, is actually driving traffic online for the brands. We also have people content marketing or social media marketing to support if the brand has a strategy needs this solution. And we also have creative and design team so that the stores or the visibility created will be top notch. We have a dedicated customer engagement solution. Customer service, the chat is very important now because people nowadays actually chat. This morning I just had a conversation with a gentleman. We realized chat actually brings a face, a humanization to digital commerce. We do have a specialized team to handle that. We also have quality and service excellence in case if there is any recovery needed, we're also able to do that. And we also have customer engagement management. Like just now I mentioned the CRM. When you add to cart during campaigns, you can even send out buzz, oh, your cart, remember to check out. These are the services that we can provide on top of the platforms. Supply chain and operations. I think everyone here, if you want to do business overseas, this is one of the big pain points. We do have services, B2B, B2C warehousing. cross-border and domestic logistics, and also supply chain management to ease your challenges so that you can focus on business development. And linking all this up, we also have AI and big data analytics team to drive measure dashboard, which our team actually use to advise the business how we can grow better. Also data management analytics and also AI and business intelligence. All this is linked together under a Synagie cloud-based solution so that the information can be seamless across the different views. Next slide. Breaking down the workflow for a product, basically these are the workflow that is required before you can go enter a market. From brands and products, first step, usually we will talk about strategy and planning, which we will check ingredient, import compliance. For the brand, we will do category, portfolio, and pricing. And we also will put in a channel strategy and route to market strategy for the brands. After this strategy is fixed, we go into business execution, the typical product listing, activities, in-store execution, and also storefront execution for the online space. We will do that. We also will have demand generation and customer experience that to create awareness, consideration, conversion, and advocate for the brands to sustain the growth in the market. Backbone of it, logistics, the list is there. Basically, if we have the requirement for the services, so far, our experience is we can do that. And also we do fulfillment, outbound process for last mile partners for online, and we also do the deliveries to the retailers' stores or their DC for offline. Next slide. And finally, my last slide is Synagie is the #1 enabler for digital commerce. At the same time, we also understand the trend of consumer to manufacturer. So we are also keen to work with manufacturers to see how we can actually help you to drive your products to different markets. Because after running so many brands, we actually have understanding what do consumer want. And by working directly with the factory, we can work to see how we create products that directly meet the consumers. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you.